I'm Nick Pearce. I'm Director of the Institute for Policy Research at the University of Bath and a Professor of Public Policy. This is a critical conference of the parties for the world. The key issue is, as the G20 agreed over the weekend, to remain on track to limit increases in global temperatures to 1.5 degrees, as the aspiration was set out in the Paris Agreement. And the key thing for this conference of the parties is to make sure that nationally determined contributions from countries around the world enable that pathway to be maintained. The world has seen, a considerable global warming over the past 2 decades in particular, and just this year, extensive flooding around the world, wildfires in the Mediterranean, in California, in Australia, flooding in China and Europe, and so on. And so, whilst we've seen an acceleration of climate change and its impact, we've got to see now the completion of contributions from countries to enable the pathway to 1.5 degrees to be maintained. And that is the crucial test for this conference. I mean, the crucial thing now is that countries that haven't made commitments to net zero do so and determine the policies and pathways that they need to make to reduce their fossil fuel production and consumption. That's particularly important for countries like India, Russia, Saudi Arabia. China has made important moves forward in terms of not financing coal investment overseas, in seeking to peak its carbon emissions by 2030. It can bring those forward. That will make an important contribution. And for the likes of Europe and the US and others, still further to go in the net zero transition. And importantly, making sure that the finance is in place to enable those developing and other countries to make the transition themselves. So 100 billion was the figure committed to in Paris. The world hasn't made that yet. We're still some way short of that by about 20 billions or so. So making sure the climate finance is in place, as well as the policies that countries that historically have done most to cause climate change meet their commitments, is important, alongside pledges and concrete action in the near term from countries like India, China and others.